Hi everybody, I'm Lights Camera Jackson. Today is Sunday, August 26, 2018. Welcome to the 20th episode of LCJ Live on this, my 20th birthday. No, did not plan this when we started LCJ Live back in April. Did not plan for this to happen, but guess what? It is pretty cool that we are here for the 20th episode on my 20th birthday. So glad to be sharing it with all of you out there. Thanks for watching. Be sure to send in your questions and comments. We're going to go through the box office in just a little bit. Also, since it's the 20th show on my 20th birthday, we're going to preview some of the films from 20th Century Fox that are coming out during the rest of the year. All of that coming up, plus some big movies this week, including one opening on Tuesday night. First, we do have to get to some sad news. Obviously, several prolific figures have passed away in the last 24 hours. John McCain passed away last night, and now breaking details that Neil Simon, the famous playwright, has died at the age of 91. I believe Neil Simon was most prolific with The Odd Couple. Of course, first a play, then a movie, and of course that iconic television show that ran for a number of years, 1970 to 1975, with Tony Randall and Jack Klugman. One of my favorites, family members, one of their favorite shows, The Odd Couple, and recently revived again on CBS with Matthew Perry there for a couple of years. So once again, Neil Simon, breaking details now, has died at the age of 91. Condolences to his family. All right, let's get to the box office. Boy, another big weekend for Crazy Rich Asians. Can you believe it? Another $25 million. That's a decrease of just 6% from last weekend. Warner Brothers is thrilled out of their minds once again that Crazy Rich Asians has topped the box office. It's a huge win for a film that the other day it was announced they are moving forward with a sequel already. John M. Chu does have In the Heights, the Lin-Manuel Miranda musical, working on that to direct that for 2020, but maybe because of the popularity of Crazy Rich Asians, maybe he's going to direct a Crazy Rich Asians sequel before he goes to In the Heights. We will definitely have to see. In second place, The Meg, another $13 million. Warner Brothers 1 and 2 yet again. They are on fire with this August movie season. The Meg has crossed $105 million at the box office. That's a big win, but here's the thing. Will there be a sequel to The Meg? Because Jason Statham and director John Turteltaub have publicly stated, we didn't like how the movie turned out, so will Warner Brothers make a sequel to that? That, I think, is less likely because of those circumstances. Did you guys see the Happy Time Murders this weekend? I sat through it, and boy, I did not have a good time with it. It did make $10 million this weekend. One of the, I think, the lowest opening weekend for a Melissa McCarthy starring movie of all time. Just $10 million. That is not great. And the film is pretty bad. I appreciate the look of the puppets, the way they are, but I just didn't laugh. I wanted to be entertained, and I wanted to be shocked. The most shock value you get out of anything in the Happy Time Murders comes in that 2.5-minute red band trailer that was shown at Deadpool 2 back in May. Other than a bunch of F-bombs in the dialogue, there's really nothing else in the movie that gives you that shock value or that entertainment value at all. So I was pretty disappointed by the Happy Time Murders, and I think even though STX might celebrate a $10 million open, it's not nearly as high as I'm sure they were hoping for. Mission Impossible Fallout in 4th, then Disney's Christopher Robin in 5th, followed by Mile 22, Alpha, and Black Klansman in 8th place. Got one of the big movies up here for this past weekend that really didn't make a whole lot of money after all. AXL, or Axel, if you want to call it that, just $2.9 million. That is a very low open, but pretty standard with Global Road, which used to be Open Road. And then they got into some financial situations. They needed another partner to come in. They've been called Global Road, but because several of their movies recently, including Midnight Sun and Show Dogs and now Axel, have not done very well at all at the box office, they're now thinking of selling off the rest of their movies, and they may be out for good, which is a real shame. Because I remember when Open Road started, when it started as Open Road, it was this Regal, AMC, others coming together to create this studio to show these new movies in all of their theaters around the country. And then Open Road hit a real high with some box office movies like The Gray with Liam Neeson and The Nut Job. and Nightcrawler was them, and also, or End of Watch, also Spotlight, winning Best Picture of the Year at the Academy Awards from this studio, that they were able to go through the award season, relatively new studio, and make it out on top was a fantastic thing for them. And it's really unfortunate to see what's happened over the last couple of years to Open Road, now Global Road, and maybe all their movies and the rest of their lineup will just go into separate studios, kind of like the Weinstein Company situation right now. Maybe that'll happen pretty soon. So that is unfortunate. Axel, just $2.9 million. There have been a lot of dog movies in these last several weeks. We had Dog Days, which did not do very well at all. Alpha, about a man and a wolf, which is doing okay. It's up to $20 million after 10 days. And now Axel, which only made $2.9 million and may not get to $7 million when all is said and done, maybe even $6 million. That might even be high. Slender Man rounds out your top 10 for the weekend. Hotel Transylvania and Mamma Mia exited your top 10 this weekend. Papillon opened up in 16th place with a little more than $1 million. And Searching, this thriller, this internet thriller with John Cho and Deborah Messing getting a lot of attention, a lot of high buzz, opened in just 9 theaters with $360,000, a per screen average of $40,000 is very strong. Searching goes nationwide or expands to more theaters this coming weekend. And another movie that keeps expanding is The Wife, starring Glenn Close, which did very well, an increase, basically doubled its money from last weekend, expanding into a few more theaters. I saw The Wife on Monday in New York City, and I gotta say, Glenn Close is excellent. If you've been hearing the buzz about The Wife, it is strong, and Glenn Close is fantastic. This performance could earn her a 7th Academy Award nomination, maybe her first win, but we're a long way out from that. We're 6 months away from the Oscars, and there's so much competition and so much ahead of her. I've got a new blog going up at lights-camera-jackson.com tomorrow talking about playing the career achievement card, as I like to call it. How some actors have either been nominated or won the Academy Award in the last 10 years, not just for the performance from that certain year, but for their career as a whole. I'll give you an example. Leonardo DiCaprio had been nominated 4 times for acting and producing The Wolf of Wall Street as well, had never won an Academy Award before The Revenant. People said, all right, it's finally his time. We're going to honor him for this grueling performance in The Revenant, in which he fought a bear, and we're going to honor him for his entire career of movies like What's Eating Gilbert Grape, The Aviator, Titanic, Blood Diamond he was nominated for, and The Wolf of Wall Street, and J. Edgar, all of that. We're going to honor him for that. So it's not just the one performance, but for everything. Julianne Moore, same thing. She'd been nominated 4 previous times before winning for Still Alice. Great performance in Still Alice, but the fact of her long career behind her as well put her over the top to win the Academy Award. So that's the kind of path that Glenn Close is going to have to make this year to try to get into the Best Actress conversation. Also, Robert Redford. Robert Redford's final movie, The Old Man and the Gun, he says it's its final one, comes out next month in limited release, and he's never won an acting Academy Award before. He's won for directing, and he got an honorary award, but he's never won for an acting performance. So he's going to have that momentum behind him. The fact that it's his final one, and hopefully a great performance in The Old Man and the Gun. So, new blog all about playing the career achievement card tomorrow at lights-camera-jackson.com. I got a blog piece up there right now talking about James Franco. If you're just joining us here on LCJ Live, went through the box office. We'll do some recaps in a bit. Got some more fun stuff on this 20th episode on my 20th birthday. Thanks so much for joining us here. Definitely want to talk about James Franco's situation because he's in a movie that is out this weekend called Kin. And I've got a blog piece up at lights-camera-jackson.com asking, are we ready for the James Franco comeback? He's got Kin, this sci-fi action thriller. He's back on The Deuce on the HBO show in a couple of weeks, and he's got several projects now in the works, in development, on hold because of the sexual harassment situation, including a movie he's going to direct based on the world of ESPN and a popular book on that. So are we ready for the James Franco comeback? A lot of people are going to be talking about that with Kin opening up this weekend. Kin also, by the way, stars Dennis Quaid, who I believe is one of the most underrated actors of our time. At David Haynes says, happy 20th birthday, LCJ. Thank you, David, so much. I appreciate it. At Bob Hall, At Steph Snem, happy birthday as well. Thank you so much. At Bob Hall, will there be more Asian casts after Crazy Rich Asians? I do think there will be more films focused on the Asian community. We've seen so much representation recently. Older people with Book Club, the African American audience with Black Panther, now with Crazy Rich Asians. You're going to see more of those kinds of movies, and they deserve to be told on the big screen. If they're done well, they absolutely do. Another big movie opening up this week, actually on Tuesday night, is Operation Finale. This is a post-World War II thriller with Oscar Isaac and Sir Ben Kingsley. You may have been seeing a lot of promos for this on TV over the past few weeks, but the interesting thing behind this is because the title is sort of confusing and the plot's a little complex, right away when the commercials start, the narrator, the voiceover guy, explains what the general plot is. I don't want to hear that. I really don't. So I've been muting the button. But I'm looking forward to this movie because some of the early buzz is pretty strong, even though it's coming out at the end of the summer. So Operation Finale from MGM opens up on Tuesday night, and then Kin comes out later this week, probably Thursday night, Friday, along with Searching, expanding into more theaters nationwide. Bob Hall says he saw Happy Time Murders, didn't like it. Yeah, I didn't like it either, Bob Hall, and it only made $10 million to come in third place at the weekend box office. Crazy Rich Asians only dropping 6%, making a whole crazy lot of money, up to $77 million. This is the 20th episode of LCJ Live on my 20th birthday. Couldn't have planned for a better day. Check out this picture. This is me on my first birthday back in 1999. And I had no idea at the time, you can tell there's the Blue's Clues hat there, I had no idea that 19 years later, Blue's Clues would be revived pretty soon on Nickelodeon. I had no idea, but I definitely wrote my wish list of gifts down in my handy-dandy notebook. I definitely did that. Hey, let's talk about some movies coming, since this is 20th show, 20th birthday, from 20th Century Fox. A studio that had Deadpool 2 be a big hit at the beginning of the summer, then didn't have a movie for a couple of months, and then came out with The Darkest Minds a few weeks ago, but that basically bombed. They've got The Predator, new version from Shane Black, coming out September 14th. And then 2 in a row, I've been seeing the trailers for this one, Bad Times at the El Royale, with Jeff Bridges and John Hamm. It's giving me a bit of a Kingsman vibe. I know the Kingsman movies were also from Fox, and there's no direct association with them, but it's given me this sort of ultra-violence, little bit of mystery, tiny bit of comedy vibe to it. Not a huge fan of those Kingsman movies, so not sure what I'm thinking about this one going in. The Hate You Give could be good. This is a racially motivated, charged attack on the police from African Americans kind of movie with Common. Common's in the cast along with several others. That opens up on October the 19th. Then, one of the most anticipated movies for the rest of the year, Bohemian Rhapsody. This is the Queen Freddie Mercury movie with Rami Malek. That opens up on November 2. Though here's my question. Why didn't they call it Mr. Fahrenheit? Because if it's the main focus is on Freddie Mercury, the Mr., to me, that would make more sense. But they're calling it Bohemian Rhapsody, so that opens up on November 2. And then Widows, this all-star drama from 12 Years a Slave director Steve McQueen, Viola Davis, Liam Neeson, and a ton of other people. Widows opens up on November 16th. Then, Alita Battle Angel. James Cameron's a producer behind this. This was supposed to come out in the summer. They delayed it to Christmas, December 21. And it could be good. It may not be. Mahershala Ali is in it as well. Ad Astra. I believe that's a Brad Pitt film. Yeah, Brad Pitt's in this one. Haven't heard a whole lot, but some people believe because it has a January 11 wide release from Fox, maybe they're going to put it out for awards consideration Christmas Day and limited just to get it in the conversation. We'll see if that happens over the next several months. Are you a Queen fan, LCJ? I like some of their songs, and I like Adam Lambert a lot, who's been touring with Queen recently. I wouldn't say I'm a diehard fan. At DJ Ricopo, I'm listening to the Hate You Give audiobook, and it's pretty good. The narrator is excellent. Yes, the Hate You Give is based on a book, so I think that'll definitely get some play into the fall before the big holiday movies. So those are all of the films from 20th Century Fox. Fox Searchlight has several other films, including that Robert Redford movie, The Old Man and the Gun, The Favorite, with Emma Stone and Can You Ever Forgive Me with Melissa McCarthy from the Fox Searchlight division coming out for award season. But we just went through now all the rest of the movies from 20th Century Fox on this, the 20th episode of LCJ Live on my 20th birthday. So glad to be spending it with all of you out there. Really appreciate it. Again, if you're just joining us, Neil Simon, the famous playwright, has died at the age of 91. And Crazy Rich Asians is still on top. It had an estimate last weekend of $25.2 million. It ended up making $26.5 million. This weekend's estimate, $25 million. Maybe it'll get up to $26.5 million yet again. That would be fantastic. If it made more money than last weekend, wow, it would be over the moon for Warner Brothers. It is a good movie. Is it one of my favorite movies of the year? No, but it's a well-made film, and I like it. So go see Crazy Rich Asians if you haven't already. And look for my review on Wednesday of Operation Finale, the new World War II thriller with Oscar Isaac and Ben Kingsley. I'm seeing that on Tuesday night. And later this week as well, Kin will be making a lot of noise, the James Franco, Dennis Quaid sci-fi thriller, along with Searching, John Cho, Deborah Messing. It's all computers. It's all from the point of view of webcams. That thriller is expanding to more theaters. For all of my latest movie reviews, blog pieces, all of that, including, by the way, this Thursday, I'm going to have a blog post at lights-camera-jackson.com on my favorite scenes from the summer movie season, my top 10 favorite scenes. There have been some great scenes in movies over the last few months. And then next Sunday, maybe I'll announce some of it here. Maybe I'll do it later in the day. We'll figure that out. My Summer Movie Awards will be 1 week from today, September 2, the summer movie season coming to a close. So look for that. Thursday, my favorite scenes of the summer movie season, and next Sunday, we'll talk about my picks for the 2018 Summer Movie Awards. My Summer Movie Awards next Sunday. I'll give some of them out here next Sunday at noon Eastern for another episode, another new live episode of LCJ Live. As always, please follow me on social media, Twitter at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at Lights Camera Jackson, Facebook, Jackson Murphy, and Lights Camera Jackson pages. I'm on Snapchat, which is LCJ Reviews, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Lights Camera Jackson, for all the latest content, exclusive videos, and exclusive content and replays of these LCJ Live episodes. And on YouTube as well, look for my new promo with Jeremy Parsons, the host of People Now. We've got your entertainment news at noon, because I'm here Sundays at noon. Jeremy and Andrea Belke at People Now, on Twitter at People, Monday through Friday at noon Eastern. Happy 20th episode of LCJ Live. So glad to join you on this, my 20th birthday. Bob Hall says, don't party too hard, LCJ. Hey, it is a Sunday night after all. A lot of good TV and could party a little bit. Why not? Thank you so much for joining us here on LCJ Live. I'll see you next Sunday at noon Eastern.